Hello, today we are going to discuss concerning chemoreceptor reflexes. Chemoreceptor reflexes or nervous control ventilation. This kind of condition that occurs when there is a high concentration of carbon dioxide within our body. When there is a high concentration of carbon dioxide within our blood or within our body, the condition known as hypercapnia. So if there is high concentration of carbon dioxide within our body, actual carbon dioxide reacts with water in presence of enzyme known as carbonic anhydrase. This carbonic anhydrase is kind of zinc enzyme. Actually secreted from the endothelium walls of blood capillaries and red blood cells or erythrocytes that catalyzes the reaction between carbon dioxide and the water to form a carbonic acid, this kind of carbonic acids. And later on again, these carbonic acid that have been formed again using the same enzyme, carbonic anhydrase enzyme or zinc enzyme, as I've said just previously. These kind of enzymes actually secreted from endothelium walls of blood capillaries as well as already blood cells. So it will enable dissociation of carbonic acids into hydrogen, proton or hydrogen ions, and then bicarbonate, hydrogen ions, and then bicarbonate. So here it means that the higher the concentration of carbon dioxide that resulted into a condition known as hypercapnia, it will result also into high concentration of hydrogen ions. Then high concentration of hydrogen ions within the body, actually it will result into low pH. Within our body, within our body. So as usual, most of our enzymes within our body work best at a neutral pH. A special pH scale of 7. At pH scale of 7 is where most of our enzymes support most of physiological processes within our body. So once the pH is very low, most of our enzymes are going to be interfered with this kind of low pH that will be not caused due to high concentration of hydrogen ions. As I've said previously, that the higher the concentration of carbon dioxide, the higher concentration of hydrogen ions, and the higher the concentration of hydrogen ions actually results into low pH within our bodies. So in order to overcome the situation, what is going to happen? As we know from the heart pumps oxygenated blood. So the oxygenated blood will be pumped from the heart. And the blood passes, especially this one, to the lower body. And this oxygenated blood will pass through carotid arteries to the neck and head. So once the blood passes at carotid bodies or carotid arc, and once it passes through the aortic arc or aortic bodies, here there is a certain kind of cell, or we call it sensory receptors over here. From the sensory receptors, we have these chemoreceptors. The chemoreceptor will detect the low pH, or will detect high concentration of carbon dioxide here. It means that the higher the concentration of carbon dioxide of blood that passes here, it means that even concentration of oxygen at this time is very low. Concentration of oxygen is low, and concentration of carbon dioxide is high. And the higher the concentration of carbon dioxide results into the higher concentration of hydrogen ions. So hydrogen ions actually result into low pH within our body. So once blood with low pH passes at carotid bodies and aortic bodies, chemoreceptor will sense this what low pH, will sense what the low pH by action potential. Then it will send what an impulse through what the action potential towards the hindbrain, especially the part of what medulla oblongata. So medulla oblongata is part of hindbrain that controls all what unconscious actions, all unconscious or involuntary actions, including gaseous exchange, including what respiration or gaseous exchange. This medulla oblongata, actually, in other terms, we call it what is kind of what respiratory center. It's kind of what a respiratory center that has been what divided into two parts. We have what the dorsal part of medulla oblongata or respiratory cells known as expiratory center, and the ventral portion of medulla oblongata known as what inspiratory centers. Expiratory center part of what this what medulla oblongata or respiratory center is concerned with expiration or exhalation, and the ventral portion of medulla oblongata is concerned with what inspiration or inhalation of what of gases. So long as concentration of carbon dioxide has been not increased within our body, then the ventral portion of what medulla oblongata will be what is stimulated. To make sure that we are going to inhale through what inspiration more oxygen. So we are going to inhale more oxygen for the purpose of expelling this high concentration of what of carbon dioxide, for the purpose of regulating the body pH over here. So once the action potential has been sent from carotid bodies and aortic bodies towards the medulla oblongata or respiratory center, then from inspiratory center we have certain kind of names. The first nerve is this one, what we call what thoracic nerves. The thoracic nerves carries what the nerve impulses from what inspiratory center towards these what respiratory, these rib cages. These what rib cages through what these what rib cages. These what rib cages in what in the lungs. So, are these rib cages or thoracic cavity? These rib cages or thoracic cavity. Inside we have two types of muscles here at this portion, and this portion, and that portion. Two types of muscles. We have also called intercostal muscles. Which have been divided into two portions. The outer part known as external intercostal muscles and the internal intercostal muscles. These are two types of muscles. All of them we call them what intercostal muscles, but we have two parts: external intercostal muscles and internal intercostal muscles, which overlap with one another. One is outside and another is inside part. So the nerve impulse will be what sent through what thoracic nerves toward this what thoracic cavity to activate the external intercostal muscles, activate the contraction of what external intercostal muscles. At the same time, another kind of nerve known as phrenic nerve will be sent towards what the diaphragm over here. Also the diaphragm will be what contracted by receiving what the nerve impulses from what phrenic what nerve. Then contraction of what diaphragm will result what moving down of the diaphragm, while the contraction of what external intercostal muscles and the relaxation of internal intercostal muscles will result in what moving up of what these what rib cages of thoracic cavity. They will move what upward but outward. At the same time, diaphragm will move what downward. This kind of what of action will increase the volume of the lungs or the volume of the thoracic cavity. Increasing in the volume of thoracic cavity, it will result into lowering pressure inside. So, as we know, actually the respiratory gases, oxygen and the carbon dioxide, tend to move from what high pressure to low pressure. But so long as the pressure has been reduced inside the thoracic cavity, then oxygen will be what inhaled from what high pressure outside what the surrounding inside what the thoracic cavity. So the entrance or inspiration of oxygen inside is result into those respiratory ducts the trachea as well as what the bronchi and the bronchioles to expand. The expansion of it is result into smooth muscles surrounding this respiratory what it ducts to be what is stretched. So stretching of these smooth muscles will enable the chemoreceptor from all over these what is respiratory ducts to send the impulse toward the this what vagus nerve. Then the vagus nerve in reverse direction, it will transfer the impulse of action potential towards what expiratory center, But remember in your mind that the previous process which was under inspiratory center, this is the respiratory center. Actually, it has promoted, it has what listen to what promoted this kind of what inspiration. So inspiration is kind of what is an active process that is stimulating, actually tends to stimulating sympathetic nervous system or sympathetic what is stimulation. Inspiratory actually stimulating sympathetic what stimulation. But once the vagus nerve in reversal directions, once stimulate the expiratory center, the same nerves, the phrenic nerves again will send the impulse towards the diaphragm. At the same time, thoracic nerve will send the impulse towards this what rib cages or thoracic cavity. If the vice versa is true now, at this time, the external intercostal muscles will relax, while the internal intercostal muscle will contract. And the vice versa again, at this time around, the diaphragm will relax. Relaxation of whatever diaphragm will result with the diaphragm to move upward, while what the rib cages will move what downward but inward. So upward, downward, inward will reduce the volume inside what these lungs or thoracic cavity. Reduction in volume within what the lungs or thoracic cavity will increase pressure. So as usual, pressure, this what respiratory gas tends to move from what high pressure to low pressure. But so long as pressure has already been what created inside here, so now the respiratory gases, especially carbon dioxide, will be what expelled out, what forcefully outside, and making sure that more oxygen is always taken in, and make sure that this process of what expiration that is under expiratory center and inspiration which is under what inspiratory center of what respiratory center of medulla oblongata will be alternating very fast, to ensure that we expel more carbon dioxide. Within our body. So once the process is what is going to be what ended, once the process is going to be ended, at the end of this process, level of carbon dioxide now, is going to be what very low. We are going to take in more oxygen through what inspiration, through what deep breathing. We are going to expel more carbon dioxide, and the expiration of more carbon dioxide from our body, it means that we are going to lower hydrogen ion concentration again, and this time lowering in hydrogen ion concentration, result into high pH, the kind of pH that is going to exceed 7, and this is an indication to show that at this time we have expelled more carbon dioxide and we have taken more oxygen. So, but by exceeding what 7, once what pH is going to exceed 7, because we have taken more oxygen and the concentration of carbon dioxide has been not reduced within our body, it means that the pH now is going to range at the scale of alkalinity, or base. It's going to range at the scale of alkalinity. So at the scale of alkalinity also, it means that most even out of enzymes within our body that control most of the physiological process within our body is not going to entertain this kind of situation. So that's why most people who are living in high mountain, or we call it mountain climbers, and those who are living at a very high altitude, tends to urinate more alkaline urine, to make sure that they regulate the pH. Of the blood till ranges at the pH of 7, which is what the neutral pH This what a neutral pH supports most of what our enzyme activities, most of what enzymes what activity that is going to regulate most of what our enzymes of activities. So thank you viewers for listening the lesson. So make sure that you subscribe our video. Thank you.